Hey, I'm Alexander, and today we're going to take a look at the new full-size open-back headphones from Moondrop called Void. This sample was kindly provided by Shenzhen Audio in exchange for my honest review. As always, I'm not paid to say anything in particular about the product, and all thoughts and opinions in today's episode are my own. Moondrop doesn't need any introduction as they are quite famous in the market and they have released many highly acclaimed and well-received pairs of IEMs. But what makes Void especially interesting is the fact that it's the first full-size headphone from the company. Void features 50mm dynamic drivers tuned to Moondrop's in-house tuning, open-back design and detachable cable. The headphones come in a large and beautiful box with a sleeve. On the front of the sleeve we have a waifu illustration, on the back of the sleeve there is an illustration of the expanded headphones, showing the driver technology, list of technical specifications and a frequency response graph. In the box we have Moondrop Void headphones, detachable cable, 3.5mm to 6.3mm adapter, quality control and contacts card, user manual and a postcard. Impedance of headphones is 64 ohms, sensitivity is 110 dB. The headphones weigh 235 grams without a cable. Despite the 64 ohms of impedance, this pair can be driven by many portable sources with no problems at all. Now let's talk about design and build. The headphones have minimalistic look and design, and the build of headphones is mostly plastic. The plastic color is ivory, it's matte and it looks much better in reality than in the pictures. The headband is made from steel spring and is covered by plastic from outside that says a Moondrop Void. The inner part of the headband is padded, it has two pleather pillows with memory foam that comfortably sit on your head. The headband is ergonomic and comfortable and it's surprisingly good at distributing the weight of the headphones. The clamping force of the headband is average and it's enough to provide a comfortable fit and a good seal. The yokes that attach the headband to cups are made from plastic. To adjust the headband you simply move each ear cup up or down and the headband adjusting mechanism works surprisingly well. The ear cups are made out of plastic too. The ear cups have a slight rotation horizontally, but vertically the ear cups rotate 30 degrees inwards. When rotated outwards, the ear cups hit the yokes and produce quite cheap plastic sounds. At the bottom of each ear cup there's a built-in 3.5mm sockets. The earpads have an oval shape, are comfortable but feel a bit cheap, and only time will tell how long they will last. The height of the earpad is 110mm and it's 85mm across. The opening of earpad is 65mm in height and 50mm across. The depth of earpads is 23mm. Taking into consideration the size of the earpads, even if you have large ears, they can completely fit inside the ear cups, which is a plus. Inside the ear cups there's a fabric mesh and 50mm drivers. Overall the build quality is okay, but it still has some cheap plastic feel. Now let's talk about fit and comfort. The headphones weigh just 235 grams without a cable and they are comfortable. I have an average size head, I wear motorcycle helmet size L and the headphones fit me well, and in addition I liked how the headband distributes the weight of the headphones. Even if you have a big head, the size and shape of the headband will not be a problem as the earpads are quite massive and the size of the headband extends well. The headband clamping force is average, but it's enough to get you a good seal and stop headphones from falling off your head. In my case, it provided a good seal and I didn't have any discomfort even during long listening sessions. The headphones come with one detachable cable, it's laced in fabric, has a tidy braid and is 1.5 meters long. On one end there is a straight 3.5mm connector and on the other end there are two 3.5mm TRS connectors. The cable has some microphonics, it feels a bit cheap and channel markings on the connector are really hard to read. But as the headphones use standard connectors, finding an aftermarket cable won't be a problem. Now let's talk about the sound. Please note that all sound impressions I'm sharing on this channel are completely subjective, so please take them with a grain of salt. Void is relatively efficient and can be easily driven by portable sources. While I had no problems driving it from my Samsung Galaxy S10 almost at my preferred level of volume, this pair truly shines when paired with a more powerful source. First of all, I need to mention that the tuning of this pair will be appealing to listeners who are used to Moondrop's in-house sound. The overall sound signature of Void can be described as slightly warm, with a well-defined but slightly pronounced bass, forward mid-range and a moderately bright treble. The bass on Void is slightly pronounced, it's fast and soft at the same time. The sub-bass has an average extension and texture, but it rolls off a bit early. It still has quite impressive rumble for open back design and is well controlled and sounds clear. The mid-bass is tight and has a good impact for a pair of open backs. It's also well controlled and also sounds clear. The low frequencies add a nice body and warmth to overall presentation, and because of that Void doesn't sound too dry. With the bass-heavy genres, for most people the bass will be a bit lacking, so please keep that in mind. Overall, the bass resolution on Void is good, it sounds clean, energetic and doesn't sound muddy even in busy passages. Mid-range is what really shines on this pair, and the headphones don't disappoint here. The mids are quite forward, and these are in-house Moondrop mids with a slightly warm tonality and energy. The lower mids have a good amount of body and energy, so the vocals and instruments do not sound too dry. The clarity and resolution of the lower mid-range is also good. Upper mids have a bit more energy and emphasis, it works really great with slightly warm lower mids, offering a good presentation without any harshness or sibilance. There is no grain in the mid-range, which is great, and the instruments have natural timbre. Overall, I am pleased with mid-range on Void, it's lively, detailed and has a lot of energy. The treble extension of Void is good, but not perfect. The treble presentation is lively and airy enough to make it precise yet enjoyable at the same time. It has a smooth character, but it still offers a good level of extension and details, without being sibilant or sharp, even with busy passages. Overall, Moondrop managed to balance the treble region out not to sound too forward, where it's becoming too hot, yet it still provides enough details and clarity. The width of soundstage on Void is above average, music sounds slightly out of your head, but the soundstage is quite deep, offering open, spacious presentations with a good placement of instruments. Soundstage also conveys a good sense of distance, and the separation of instruments is surprisingly good. Busy musical tracks are also presented with a correct placement of instrument and layering. Detail retrieval and micro details are above average, imaging is on point, and it's quite capable when pinpointing the positioning and direction of sound. While the headphones are not quite on par with some other open backs in this price bracket, Void still does a good job at keeping tracks uncluttered. Let's summarize. The overall sound signature of Void is coherent, it's got a solid tuning which will be appealing to everyone who loves Moondrop in-house sound. In addition, most music genres sound on this pair really well. The sound presentation is energetic and natural with a well-defined but slightly pronounced bass, forward mids and soft yet detailed treble. Pros: Moondrop's in-house tuning, surprisingly good fit and comfort, detachable cable, well-pronounced and forward mid-range, soft treble with a lot of details, good layering and overall energetic and solid sound presentation. Cons: the sub-bass rolls off a bit early for my personal taste, headphones build feels a bit cheap, average soundstage width for a pair of open back headphones, detail retrieval is also average, and the treble lacks a bit of air and sparkle. The headphones are not perfect, but I need to say that for its first pair of full-size headphones, Moondrop has done a fantastic job. I'm personally willing to overlook some of the shortcomings of Void, especially in the build and design department, as this pair has a surprisingly good tonality and a mature tuning. I can recommend this pair to everyone who likes Moondrop's in-house sound and is looking for their sound signature in a full-size open back form factor for the pure enjoyment of music. Alright guys, that's all from me for today, and I hope that you enjoyed this review. If you want to see more content like this, please consider subscribing to my channel and click the bell icon to receive new video updates. See you in the next episode. Goodbye.